Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.
Welcome. What's up, man? What's up?
We have officially entered the worst part of the sports year. Yeah, you know when basketball's over.
Yeah.
I mean, now everybody's about to get super focused on baseball.
Some people.
Well, some people, but most people are about to start like just really tapping in what's going on with baseball, preseason, and that sort of thing. But man, when basketball is over, it's like, wow, it's
So I said I don't think that football ever ends. Like the NFL has kind of like monopolized sports, right? And I don't feel like it ever really ends. Like the draft was what, 2 months ago? It feels like it was like a month ago. Then you had OTA, rookie mini camp, OTAs, mandatory mini camp. And if you think about it, what is it? It's June 25th. A month from now, we'll be in training camp. So I mean, it's a little different than when we were kids.
So I say this, right? You have so much information out there on your favorite team.
Mm-hmm.
During this part of the year, this is the part where everybody still has that hope that I wouldn't say necessarily a Super Bowl team, but that their team's going to be good. So everybody's like paying attention to what the rookies is doing in camp, and everybody's like, oh yeah, our first rounder, man, he looks awesome. Or we got this sleeper in the 6th rounder. We picked up this free agent. And I mean, it's the hype train, right?
It is.
Then you have like your fantasy gurus that are like really like digging in the crates to figure out like, okay,
who's supposed to be the consensus number 1 this year?
I don't know. You know, I haven't.
I've seen Justin Jefferson and I've seen Saquon Barkley.
And I would stay away from either. So I haven't been that plugged in yet to we're figuring out who the consensus number 1.
Okay.
But I do feel like people are getting their dynasty leagues ready. They're getting their fantasy keeper leagues, and they're trying to see, okay, who's going to be available in draft, who's got the backfield to themselves, who's splitting carries, what receivers are going to be good. So definitely that time of year.
I mean, so here's a good thing about baseball, though, right? You have Ohtani and you have Aaron Judge. I think those are the two good guys. You got this center fielder. Oh my gosh,
the guy in Oakland is making all the amazing.
And Clark. I think it's Desmond Clark, but his last name's Clark. So I mean, he has the Gold Glove. The center field Gold Glove is his. It ain't. There's no one that I would say is no. It's him. So I think this season baseball is a little different because Ohtani's going back to pitch. Some people care. Some people is like whatever. I still think he's gonna go down as the best baseball player ever. But first of all, if you had a baseball game right now, especially on the East Coast, you're crazy. It's been 100 degrees.
It is hot. It is hot.
So if you go into a baseball game, you're absolutely nuts and need to be, unless you're in a suite. Now, if you're in a suite, you got AC, food, all right, cool. But aside from that, being in that's crazy.
See, let me tell you, a couple things transpired this week. Those that are close to me know that I took some time off of work, and I've been relaxing and chilling. So, most people know I like to fish. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, let's get a fishing trip going.
Okay.
So I called my dad. My dad's like, yo, you know how hot it is right now? He was like, I'm not playing golf. I'm not playing like. So I thought about it, and look, so most people, they know I got a Jeep, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a firm believer that, hey man, when the summer hit, hey man, put the top down, take advantage. Ant just hit me up. He was like, yo, you good with this rain? I was like, yeah, but part of the reason I had the top back up was how hot it was, man. It is scorching hot outside, man. It is like unbearable hot.
Luckily for me, this is like our dead period for football, high school football. So I got this week, next week. I pretty much do what I want. And I'm happy because, once that time passes, I'm locked in for football till pretty much November, December. So it's like, man, it's so hot. I don't know, but it is what it is. It's part of summer. It's
Right.
you can't complain because when it was 10 degrees a few months ago, you had to, people was complaining about that too. So make up your mind. I was about to cut. I said nope. So, but make up your mind. So anyway, I guess we could talk about the NBA finals. OKC did win the championship in 7. But I think one of the bigger stories, or I guess just as big of a story, is Tyrese Haliburton, rupturing his Achilles in the first quarter, and he was cooking at the moment. So, is it a bigger story? And this is what I'm asking you: what's the bigger story, OKC winning the championship, or Haliburton getting hurt?
Haliburton getting hurt. I want to tell you why. It really has nothing to do. I think most people felt like OKC was going to win like the game. Most people wasn't surprised that OKC won the game.
Right.
Most people knew that Haliburton wasn't like totally like himself. He wasn't like a full go. The reason why his injury is the bigger story is because I think it is linked to the shoes. And a lot of people have really started to like do a lot of research into like who's had Achilles problems and how is it like resurfaced over the last couple of years. And like I said, I'm no scientist, I'm no expert, but a lot of these players do wear low top shoes. And I forget what child was in. I think it might have been Big Dog. Shout out to Big Dog Joe, saying that the first person that he saw that wore low tops or made it like a trend was Kobe Bryant. And if you look back to the end of his career, what did he do? He tore his Achilles, right?
Yep.
So, you look at, they've got two conspiracies going, right? So they got the number 0 as one conspiracy.
I don't know if that's really a conspiracy. It happened.
Well, what? It's Lillard, Tatum and Haliburton, right? All wear 0, all got hurt in the playoffs, all ruptured their Achilles. So that's one storyline,
right.
But I think it is something to the players wearing low cut.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think that's part of it. I think that if you think about it, they're playing a lot of games in the show, which, don't get me wrong, they've been playing 82 games for as long as we've been alive. I think the difference is now is the pace that the game is played at. It is like extremely up tempo, high pace. So I think that plays a part, along with wearing low tops. Now, if you think about it, Jordan, LeBron, Barkley, Pippen, they either had that. None of their sneakers were low. Even Kyrie, he had mids. They either mids or high tops. So I feel like they need to go back to. I mean, I don't think you should make it mandatory, but to me, it just never really made sense to wear like low tops to play basketball.
I think for us, it always was about protecting your ankle, right?
Right.
And I think like maybe this theory has been debunked that high tops don't really provide that much more protection over your ankle. So maybe that's why athletes went or moved into that direction. But also people that had to look at that it was protecting your Achilles as well as your ankle. So
well, I think that part of that is Achilles was always like the old man injury. It was like you ain't, if when you have an Achilles injury, that's more it's towards the end of your career. Patrick Ewing, Kobe Bryant, a ton of people. The list goes on and on. But I think it was unheard of to have three Achilles injuries in a season. Let alone a playoffs, one set of playoffs. So I think that there needs to be more research done, some more science done as to what is actually causing this. I think there were 8 total this season. That's the previous high was 5. And the other thing is you have better technology as far as so guys are healing quicker because remember ACL tears
career was
football.
wrap.
Yeah, back like when we were kids it was a wrap. Then it got to it's a whole year, right? Then we see somebody like Adrian Peterson freaking tears Achilles in January or December and is back to start the season in September, October. So I mean, technology is definitely different.
With kind of Aaron Rodgers. It took him a complete year, but he still got back a lot faster than like most people would anticipate.
So as the I guess you could call me an expert. I ruptured my Achilles. So I'll say this. It was brutal. Like physical therapy was tough. So I could just imagine as a how much, and I wasn't playing. I was working from home, but I could imagine how it was for someone who's playing a professional sport and you have access to all of that technology and all of those trainers and all of those doctors. And for me, I ruptured my Achilles in October, had surgery 10 days after I ruptured it, was in a cast for about 6 weeks, and then had a walking boot for another probably like 6-7 weeks, right? And until I was able, so I ruptured my Achilles in October, wasn't able to actually put a shoe on my foot until January. So that's just putting a shoe on, but it still felt weird. There was certain shoes I couldn't even wear because like the pressure on the back of on your Achilles, where so it was different. So I could understand how it it's tough on them, but a year, you would think a year, but now they're talking about Kyrie may be back. Kyrie, who hurt his knee though, they say he may be back by January, and he just got hurt April.
Not
March?
quite April. Might have been more like,
March.
I want to say he got hurt closer to February. He got hurt a little bit after the trade. Like, I don't believe him and AD ever had the opportunity to play with each other.
Nah, he was not, because AD got hurt his first game in Dallas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was, so maybe they played that game and then like,
yeah,
I mean, somewhere in the middle of AD recovering.
Yeah, so I mean, so they're saying, so they said it was in he hurt his knee in March of this year. So I mean, March, that's what, 10 months?
Yeah, that's fast
crazy.
timeline.
So
we have some movement we got to talk about it. KD to Houston.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts about that trade?
I wasn't surprised. I was, I mean, he said, the thing I was shocked about was that he got to go where he wanted to go, right? That he said either the Rockets, Spurs, or Heat. You know, obviously, no state income tax. It makes a lot of sense. But I was surprised. I was surprised that the Rockets only gave up Jalen Green and some
Dylan
seconds.
Brooks.
Dylan Brooks, whatever.
It was one first rounder.
It was this year's first round. So
Yeah.
the number 10 this year.
It was what, 5 number 2?
Yeah, like 5-2,
yeah.
which is not going to really matter to the Rockets because they're going to have it's going whatever. So I think that they, the Rockets got let off the hook, but I also think that this new collective bargaining agreement that's going into effect, it kind of like forced their hand because it's like, we got to either make this trade or we're going to be paying like crazy income tax. So I wasn't surprised at the trade. I was more surprised that the Suns didn't try and fleece the Rockets. I mean,
but they had a lot of leverage.
Who did?
I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to look it up. If there was a no trade clause, and
the only 2 people in the league with no trade clauses is his old teammate, Bradley Beal and LeBron James. So they could have sent them to Memphis if they wanted to.
Maybe there also was probably not a big market for KD. Now I think
that's possible.
If you're looking at, if you're a piece away like Houston, it makes sense. But most teams probably aren't or don't feel like that they're a piece away or he's that missing piece, and they're willing to part with one of their young stars. Now, I've heard some reports that Udoka and Green didn't get along.
They didn't, and that's why it. I understood them getting rid of Jalen Green, right? But and don't be surprised if Jalen Green is averaging 25, 26 points next year.
He's going to be a good fit with Phoenix. Now, they still have a log jam of guards. I mean, it looks
the whole team is shooting guards. They got all shooting guards.
I don't know if that's the way that they're playing next year. Just all 2 guards, and let's go from there.
And to think this Phoenix, well, not this Phoenix team, but the Phoenix Suns were in the finals 4 years ago, and it seemed like it was like 10 years ago.
Well, to me personally, they got away from what got them there. And I will go on the record. I will say this. You need perimeter defenders.
Correct.
That present problems to wing players. And you need young athletic talent with the right mix of veterans. They had that, but they went all in to get KD, all in to get Bradley Beal. And when you do that, you give up a lot of your young pieces.
You gut your
team. They gutted their team.
Yeah.
And to me, the opportunity was, okay, you have 4 good stars, good players, but you don't have any role players coming off the bench.
They had nothing.
Yeah, they had nothing. You didn't really have strong defenders. So, yeah, you're offensively, you're scoring a lot of points, but you can't stop anybody. And that's a recipe for failure in the West. I mean, it doesn't matter if you do have Durant, Booker, or any of those players.
It wasn't enough. I think everybody knew it. They was getting. They had no interior defense. They really didn't have much wing defense either. And I don't know. It's unfortunate because you think about some of the pieces they had. They had a mixture of old and young, right? They had Chris Paul. Like having Chris Paul was I get it. He was already old and he got older and he probably lost a step. But I think if they could have kept that team somewhat together to an extent, they could have made another run.
Well, I mean, when you got Durant, I forget what he averaged last year. I think
25.
he was over 25. when you got him averaging 25 and you're still finishing 11th with the talent that they had, like, yeah, something's not working.
Yeah, once they didn't make the playoffs, it was a wrap for that team.
So I got a question for you, and this has
hold on, before you ask that question, I'm gonna post the link again. So if you want to give us your thoughts on the things we've talked about or whatever, we'll let you on and we'll let you chime in. And we're gonna give you a time limit because some people just like to go and go and go. We'll give you a time limit. We ain't gonna cut you off, but just know you got a time limit. But nonetheless, go ahead.
So my morning started out listening to Chris Canny, and he asked for a drug test of Stephen A. Smith. And the reason why he asked for a drug test is Stephen A. Smith said that Kevin Durant is a top 10 player of all time. Now, without looking at his resume and just looking at pure talent, just taking away like championships, taking away like everything, and just looking at him as a ball player, that he's a top 10 player of all time.
Why would he be drug tested? I don't.
Okay. So we're on the same wavelength, but there was a lot of people that kind of didn't agree with that. And I mean, so my perspective, okay, if you throw out championships, MVPs, and everything,
why would you do that?
But even if, like, from a talent standpoint,
he's
7 foot,
and can shoot from 30 with ease.
So we have a viewer that says no, Durant is not top 10. I would definitely invite this viewer to the debate. He's no stranger to the show.
So
go
hear
ahead.
me out.
Go ahead, click the link.
Hear me out. I feel like is he top 10? I can make an argument for both. I can make an argument that he isn't top 10. I can make an argument that he should be top 10. I don't see how. So when people do their top 10s, will they add Durant? I put it like this: Durant's won an MVP. Yes, he went to Golden State and won 2 championships. Could have won 3 in a row, but yes, he won 2 championships. But he was clearly the best player on that team. Whether you people want to admit it or not, he was clearly the best player on that team. Now, did they? Yes, they didn't finish the job in 2016 when they were up 3-1 against Golden State. But shit, neither did Golden State. Golden State, they didn't finish the job either. And people could say what they won about whatever. I know people don't like to, bring up the Olympics, but he's won multiple gold medals. I don't see why you would say he isn't a top 10 player. And it can't be because he went to multiple teams, because some people will put Shaq in the top 10. And
so I'm gonna go this route. I've been watching basketball my entire life.
Okay.
And I've watched a lot of those NBA classics with back in the day when Jerry West and Elgin Baylor and all those guys was playing.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen a player 7 feet or 6'10" or whatever you want to say his height is, do the things with a basketball with the ease of Kevin Durant. If you got one in history, maybe there's somebody out there, but handling the basketball, being able to shoot that efficiently, and basically not even have to play to his with his back toward the basket. I'm not saying that he can't, but you don't even have to like if you move Kevin Durant to the 2 guard, nobody would care. You know what I mean? Like if you said that was your 3, that's your 4, whatever, wherever you want, and you wouldn't require him. Like, because when we were coming up, somebody of that size, he'd been playing center. He'd been playing center.
Yeah. You
power forward.
On the block.
He wouldn't have been shooting no threes.
Nope.
Or
I agree.
that.
Now, I'm not gonna bring LeBron in this. I do think that LeBron is a better basketball player than Kevin Durant. But if we're talking top 10, I don't think that there should be drug tests. I don't think that there should be asterisks or whatever by his name for his championships. No, I think that KD could easily be in the top 10 of all time.
But the same argument I'll make for LeBron, take his resume out of it. We've never seen an athlete like LeBron.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with Michael Jordan. I mean, like, if you take everything that he has done, which, I mean, he's got, I mean, you can't say anything negative about Michael Jordan, but
you can, but
you can, but I mean, as a basketball player,
yeah, it's hard to say.
It's hard to find anything
I agree
that was wrong. But if you just look at sheer talent alone, you didn't see that. And we haven't seen anything really close to it since.
That is correct. Yeah. So, but here's the thing: we're talking about Chris Canty, and Chris Canty is.
I like Chris Canty. I know he's a Giant, a former Giant.
And Cowboys drafted him.
And former Cowboy.
So this is why I don't like Chris Canty, right? I'm all for former athletes getting in the media game. I think it's super dope, right? Because they have direct knowledge of the game, right? But what I don't like is them letting their biases take away from their actual knowledge of the game. So he has such disdain for the Cowboys that he can't be partial, right? He is always he'll pick the Giants over the Cowboys. He won a championship with the Giants. I get that. Another person, and I don't want to get off topic. We'll get back to where we at, but LaShawn McCoy. Everybody knows I'm a Giants fan. I hate the Eagles, but I thought LaShawn McCoy was one of the best running backs I've ever seen play football, right? And I still, to this day, I think he was one of the best running backs to ever play. Not the best, but one of the best. But the more he's on TV and the more he talks, I dislike him. And I think that, and that's when I think that some of these guys shouldn't be on TV because.
So on go to counter. I hear you, but I think that's what keeps them on TV.
Talking about the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think that's.
I get it.
Somebody told me and you gave me and you this advice a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
There is an audience everywhere.
And
and so if you want to listen to the Cowboys get beat up, turn on the ESPN. You want to get ESPN, Cowboys information. There's a ton of platforms in Dallas. It is finding that actual niche platform that's going to give you the information that you actually want.
Right.
So I look at Chris Canty. I like him. I think he's got some good takes.
He did defend Dak 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think he's got some good takes, and I think that I don't think
you think Chris Canty has good takes.
Yeah.
Well, we disagree there. We definitely disagree. He does not have good takes. That's like saying again, LaShawn McCoy has good takes. No, his takes are terrible.
Well,
his takes at Bart Scott, they might be the two worst takes in TV history. What?
I like Bart Scott too. And I used to listen to Bart Scott a lot when he was on not Mike and Mike.
No, he has his show in the morning.
Well, he used to be with Mike Greenwell a lot in the afternoon before Mike Greenwell was on Get Up.
I never said I was a Giants fan, so I don't know what whatever. We could. I'm not gonna it's stupid. But no, I would say I could tolerate Bart Scott more than Chris Canty. I don't think Bart Scott is kind of funny, so, but Chris Canty just I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, back to what we were saying in regards to this situation or this discussion with Kevin Durant, Stephen A is right. Stephen A is right. I don't see a problem with him saying that he's a top 10 player of all time.
Well, I don't see a problem, and I think you're right on that.
Uh-huh.
I think people are just really sensitive about some of the older players, and people always feel like certain players are getting slided if you put Durant into the conversation.
All right, Phil, we got Phil here, everybody. Let's get a hand for Phil. Let's get some horns for Phil. Hey, Phil, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So, look, first of all, I like Canty. Is it drug test worthy? No. Is he in my top 10? No. So you can do the easy 5, regardless order. You go Magic, Mike, LeBron, Kobe. Then
Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe, and then you got guys like Bird, Duncan, Shaq. Even though we didn't watch him play, we've seen the highlights. I mean, we were too young to watch Kareem in his glory, but I have Kareem over him. I'd have Wilt over him, and then I have Steph as number 10.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. I mean,
I can't argue against your list.
Could, but I mean, because I think Olajuwon should be in there.
Olajuwon was hanging around there. I mean, you got a couple other guys that were right on that cusp, but that's the 10 I would go with. I mean, you could argue.
Listen, me personally, I would definitely go Shaq over Kobe. There's just we're not going to do that.
No. I'm not arguing the order. I'm just saying. Okay. I was doing the easy 5, that most people don't debate. Some people would debate Shaq. It comes down for me if you want to say that, Durant is probably one of the most talented players we've ever seen, one of the most unique players. 10 best. That's a tough.
So where would you put Durant? Top 15?
He's definitely top 15. Yeah, he's top 15.
I don't think it's a conversation he's in the top 15.
Is he over Barkley?
Yes.
So
is he over Moses Malone?
See, that was tough. That's tough. Go ahead, Scott.
Now, real quick, if I had to take anybody off your list, because we're just talking talent. We're not talking basketball resume. We're just talking talent. Maybe I put Durant over Tim Duncan.
Hey, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. All right.
Hey, Scott. Fine. Take, which is crazy. Take Duncan off, put Olajuwon on. I mean, he's still not in the top 10.
Can you just repeat? So you said Mike, LeBron, Magic, Kobe,
Bird,
Shaq, Kareem, Steph,
Wilt,
and who else am I missing?
Oh shit! I was doing that off the top of my
Or
head.
do you take Bird?
I would take
Bird. Keep Duncan and put Durant over Bird.
I don't know, man. Bird was tough, man. I mean, everyone thinks that he was just an offensive guy. He got rebounds. He played defense.
Hey, listen. I would tell you, hey, Phil, you got the crowd going crazy because you said KD over Tim Duncan. No, who said that? I did.
That was Scott.
Scott said that, and he drunk, y'all. I'm sorry.
No, but hold on. So
that comment needed some milk.
But hold on. People were misconstruing the comment, right? So I'm looking at Curtis. He's saying he's got 5 rings. We're not talking about rings, and we're not talking about
straight up talent.
We're just talking about straight up basketball talent. You don't know anything about the guy.
Then I would put. You got to take Bird out. Well, yeah,
that's what. But that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about. Yeah, Duncan has 5 rings. He dominated. Bird has 3 rings.
But Duncan is super talented, though.
He is, but if you just take team out of it, personality out of it, and you just go basketball talent.
Hey, Scott, so let me ask you this then. Are you including leadership as a talent?
No, I'm looking at a 7-footer that can shoot and can dribble. and who else really?
Hey, so
we're just talking about skill. Then Melo's a top 10 skilled player of all time.
I don't want to do this because it takes away, because all these other guys have skills too. It ain't like oh, they just was put on teams and they just won. Now they had talent too. So now I'm not even
take the resumes. Even
if you take the resume, if you put
the resumes in the argument, he's not top 10.
Who's not top 10?
Kevin Durant.
Yes, he is.
If you take the resumes into account, you can't discredit Bird there. Like, and you can't discredit, to Curtis's point, you can't discredit Duncan there.
Well, I got Duncan in the top 10. I'm
just saying pure talent.
And if we put resumes in, then you got to slide Bill Russell in there. But I didn't do that.
We're doing resumes. This is not even a debate or argument. That's why we don't have the resumes.
This is why I hate that I'm about to post this, y'all. But what I'm about to post is the reason why. You know what? This is why I don't like people sometimes. Now this is just, I don't like to call people's opinions stupid, but this is dumb. All right. Tracy McGrady is not top 5 all time. Okay. He may be a top 5 Magic player of all time. He may be a top 5 Rocket of all time. That's debatable. He ain't a top 5 NBA player. But hold on.
Go back to the argument though, and go back to the debate. Tracy McGrady at 6'8", everything that he can do. Take his basketball resume.
Me personally, as somebody that's been watching sports all my life, I'm not taking no resume out of the situation. I know because I get it. Yeah, he a high flyer. He can shoot. He led the league in scoring multiple years. But I can't get out that his team, he couldn't lead his teams out of the first round as a superstar in the league. He was a superstar. Tracy McGrady was a superstar. But again, he couldn't get his team out the first round. Right?
So let me ask you this. Tracy McGrady. Okay, so you already got like the big 3, right? You got Jordan, you got Kobe. Some will put Wade in that conversation.
Wait, come on, wait, what?
No, but I'm saying best 2 guards of all time.
Oh, okay.
And some people will put Iverson in that conversation too. Where's Tracy McGrady in that conversation? Is he a top 10 2 guard of all time?
Absolutely. Yes.
Is he a top 5 2 guard of all time?
Was he a 2 or a 3?
No, he's a 2.
He's a 2.
He
actually played some point too, but he's a 2.
All right. Okay. If he's a 2,
because you got James Harden, you got Clyde Drexler.
You know what? Before I answer that, let's bring Big Dog in here. What up?
Word, Big Dog.
So I'll say this. I think that as far as 2 guards, I would be hard pressed not to have Tracy McGrady in it. He's top 5. He's a top 5 shooting guard of all time. Yes. Yeah.
And we're just talking talent. We're just talking.
I can't listen. Y'all just talking talent. I'm talking about everything.
Okay. No, but I'm just clarifying the debate here. With everybody is we're talking talent.
So now if you want to take out resume, which is crazy to me when you're having this debate, this is such a skewed debate if you're taking out resume. But if you take out resume, I'm definitely putting Tracy McGrady, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. Give me another high flyer. Hey, it don't matter. Like Allen Iverson, that's your top 5 right there. That's your top. If you no resume is no just offer just.
Well, how this all started was Stephen A. said, "Hey, look, the Rockets are getting the top 10 talent of all time. Top 10 talent of all time. They are getting a top 10 talent of all time. Like, how do you not say that that's not a win for the franchise, no matter what they have to get? And it goes back to what you were saying is you feel like the Rockets were let off the hook a little bit to where they probably should have gave up more to get a top 10 talent. I have to agree with that. Now, Chris Candy's take was, you're smoking crack. He's not a top 10 talent of all time. Crack is whack.
Hey, look, to quote my guy, Oak, Canty was a little overrice with saying that's a drug testing worthy argument. I think he's right that he's not top 10, but he's top 15. So
I gotta hear what Big Dog gotta say.
Who we speaking of top 15, top 10? Who we talking about?
Kevin Durant.
They saying he's not top 10?
That's what's
of all time. Yeah, nah.
For his position.
No, of all players.
Oh, well.
Talent.
So it was, you know, Scott's super technical, and he's gonna analyze everything. So it's top 10 talent.
Okay.
Of all time. What I was talking about top 10, everything, you know, but he's just talking about just from a talent perspective, pure talent is Kevin Durant top 10.
That's tough. Top 10 talent.
Well, Cooper Flag went number 1 if you didn't know.
I'm gonna say no. I will put him top 15, but not.
We about to cut your TV off too.
No, but here's the deal, right? So let's clarify something, right?
Okay.
A top 10 argument, normally you have to bring rings into the conversation. So I think when you start talking resume, because it's enough guys with enough rings that are considered in the top 10 to where you have to look at, to your point, the complete body of their career, right? You know, the talent, what they were able to do to their teams, were they the focal point of their teams, were they able to get their teams to the ultimate goal of winning a championship? Okay. Big Dog, my take on this is when you look at Kevin Durant's skill set from being a 7-footer that could shoot at the way that he could shoot, that could just really dribble the way that he could dribble, and that skill set, I've never seen that from another 7-footer.
All right. Scott, can I interject one thing real quick?
Yeah.
So you keep pointing to him being 7 foot. I'm going to say skill set then. Is Iverson's skill set better than Durant's? If we're just talking skill set, no resume, I put Iverson over.
I said Iverson already, though. I did say Iverson.
So Iverson has been placed on the list. But let me ask you this. Have you seen what Iverson can do? Have you seen that duplicated by anybody?
No,
I don't think so either. But that's how I would attack that question. Is
wait,
have you seen?
We ain't seen Iverson. What Iverson did, we ain't seen that. Is what y'all saying?
Somebody with that speed.
We have
at that height.
We have
be that Isaiah.
We've seen it. Yeah, it's now.
What I would say Isaiah Thomas might be.
Isaiah. I'm gonna tell you, Stevie Franchise was in that mold.
Hey, I was before Steve Francis.
I know that, but you saying we never seen it. We have. Franchise was very. I ain't gonna say he was AI, but he had the same skill set that AI had.
Yeah. If
Don't piss me off today.
Hey Joe, if we're saying
you are saying that Steve Francis, and I love Steve Francis to death. You're not saying that Steve Francis had he was not as good as Allen Iverson.
I didn't say skill set. Franchise was a whole.
Franchise was a problem. Franchise, look, I like the franchise, and I wish that franchise would have been able to adjust to being traded. I really do feel like Jeff Van Gundy screwed his career up out there in Houston. He couldn't adjust once Jeff Van Gundy got there, but franchise was a problem. Franchise, I mean, you talk about a player that could do everything. Everything.
It's like AI
Now,
can do everything.
Yeah, now I think most of us would agree AI was a different type of different type of ball
What
player.
you said skill set. That's
Hey, Joe, we're not doing that,
Yeah,
Joe.
NBA history. Have we seen a player that could do what Allen Iverson?
You're right. You're right. You know what? I'm gonna mute this mo. All right, go ahead, Scott. Go ahead, Scott. Go ahead.
Nah,
crazy, man.
But I don't think we've seen anybody in NBA history that could do what Allen Iverson.
Oh man.
I mean, franchise is a good.
We've seen it a lot.
No, we haven't.
We've seen it a
Allen
lot.
Iverson is like 5'8".
We've seen it a lot. Isaiah was doing the same stuff.
No, he wasn't.
What? Okay. I'm mute me then.
So let me ask you, right? You got Isaiah, you got Steph Curry, you got Iverson. Who you taking?
Oh, no. Before you answer, start, bench, cut right now. AI, Isaiah Thomas, Steph Curry. Start, bench, cut.
I will never go against Bubble Chuck ever. I'm saying franchise had the same skill set.
Okay, so let me ask one question. No. Do you take franchise over one of those three players?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Now before we get to the next person, start, bench, cut. You got AI. You got.
Told you, I'm cutting franchise.
Who getting the start?
I'm cutting franchise.
No. Franchise is not in there. It's AI, Isaiah, and Steph.
Ooh.
Damn, that's tough.
I got my answer. I'll let Joe go first.
I'm definitely gonna start AI.
Okay.
I am going to. I'm going to bench. I'm gonna bench Steph and I'm gonna cut.
Hey, dog, that's my answer as well, dog.
What you got, Phil? What you got?
That's the same exact reason. And the reason is not that AI isn't better than Curry. I think Iverson has to start. He's not a guy you pull off the bench. Curry can come off the bench and light it up. I love Zeke, but Zeke, you ain't them.
Hey, you know I'm supposed to get rid of y'all, but I keep y'all here because look, y'all about to. Hey, main focus, how you doing there, sir?
What's up?
What's good? What's up, fellas? I hear y'all talking about these guards, and we keeping resume off the menu, right?
Yes.
Y'all keeping resume. I'm not.
Okay. I'm playing devil's advocate. If we're talking about skill set, and we're talking about Bubba and all, why have anybody mentioned Kyrie?
I think that's a fair call out. Why have we not mentioned Kyrie? Okay, so let me ask you, main focus. You got Steph, you got Isaiah, and you got Iverson. Who comes off that list?
Start, bench,
and you got Kyrie.
Ooh, and you adding Kyrie?
Yeah,
so add Kyrie.
Ooh.
So we got Steph, we got Kyrie, we got Isaiah,
you got AI. Can't nobody take me out of my zone, not even the AI. I don't even know where I got that verse.
For how I analyze a scoring point guard,
mercy.
You gotta have
main focus.
It's a difficult answer, but I have to go with
Hey,
Steph.
yo, we,
You
yo,
gotta
no.
go
You
who?
got, so who you starting? Who you starting?
I gotta start Steph.
All right, who you putting on the bench?
Behind Steph, Kyrie.
So who? Oh, shit. So you cutting? You
Yo, shit.
yo. So you cutting? You cutting? Isaiah and AI.
And I'm gonna explain why.
You,
Out of
you
out
20
of those,
main focus.
let's
Main
do
focus.
process elimination.
You 25?
Let me. Well, I ain't catch that last thing you said though. What you said?
Are you how old are you? Are you 25 and younger?
No. But I'm about to explain the madness. Is the reason
Hey,
why?
yo, whoa. Are you going
What
on
we
mute?
want?
Hey, you got a 10-second mute. Hold on. You got.
Hey, yeah, we'll come back to him. Hey, hey, Ant.
Yo.
Ant.
Yo.
So Curtis put something in the chat, which is actually pretty cool. He included Magic in this group.
Yo, come on, man. What?
No. So this is why I didn't include Magic. This is small guards. Pause. like guards that really you wouldn't say like any of those guys other than really Iverson has like a physical like advantage as far as speed. Like it'd be like pretty tough to like say that they're physical specimens.
Hey, we get it.
Yo,
Tell
I
Chuck,
don't know if I don't know if I'm mature. I don't know if I'm mature enough to have this kind.
hey,
tell they starting to add all these Duke players. We're not doing
hey,
Well,
hey, Scott. So I got one for you.
Okay.
All right, got one shot on the wing.
Knees weak, arms. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You got Steph, Ray Allen, and Reggie Miller.
That's
Who's
easy.
taking the shot?
Steph. What?
Steph
That-
is
that
the
was
best
easy.
this is why the
of
question.
all time.
What
Yes.
over Ray?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Ray
Yeah.
Allen and Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
They both
They'll take a
conceded
picture
to
with
Steph.
Steph holding up best shooter of all time.
Yeah. Hey, Phil. I don't know what you talking about. Matter of fact, you get a 10-second mute for that. No. You gotta take. Cause he's crazy as hell.
Yeah, before he
But
I want to hear
why y'all put Phil on 10 seconds? Let me explain my last.
Please let main focus explain his.
All right. Phil's back, but go ahead, main focus. You got your.
Okay, so the reason why I picked Steph and Curry, I picked Steph and I picked Kyrie.
Mhm.
My thing is from a team chemistry standpoint, to me, you're an elite player as a small guard if you could do stuff without the ball in your hand. The other two, I feel like it takes something out of their game when they don't have the ball in their hand. Steph could be just as effective away from the ball as even when he touches the ball. I'm gonna say pause just in case. I don't know who I'm dealing with here. That's why I picked those two because I feel like you put those guys on any team,
Mhm.
and you got a guy that plays that needs the ball in their hand. Like Kyrie had LeBron. LeBron was like a point forward. We all know that.
Mhm.
It didn't affect what Kyrie could do offensively on the floor. I feel like if you take the ball out of Zaya's hands and you take the ball out of Iverson's hands, it takes something away from the game as being effective on the offensive end.
So
Can we both agree on that?
No, I want to tell you this, main focus. Iverson played his career without the ball in his hands. He was a two guard. He got moved from point guard to two guard. Isaiah Thomas was the ultimate guard. He could play off the ball. He could play as the main focal point of the offense. So I would have to disagree with your analysis. Maybe not your reasoning. You talk about team chemistry, and you're going to talk about Kyrie. Kyrie has been shipped out every place with the exception of Dallas because of his team chemistry.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question for you, Robes. Why the hell are you taking the ball out of Iverson's hand?
Here's the thing. In today's basketball, if you double team a player, you gotta, and the team focal point is on you, stopping you. Teams have two decisions: shut down everybody else and let him just ball out. We shut down everybody else. The other side is some teams have that one guy that gets on that scorer's nerves and don't make him as productive as he used to be. Therefore, he has to learn to get his points other ways. I feel like if you take the ball out of those two individuals' hands, the team is not going to function like they should offensively.
So I'll say this, Rob.
Not saying they're not going to get their buckets, but it's a team sport at the end of the day.
So Robes, I'll say this, right? Well, Iverson and Steph, everybody can agree they're unguardable, right? Teams had nightmares figuring out how to guard either or. Like they're going to score regardless. I feel like Isaiah, where he loses a lot of credit, and it's not fair to him, is basketball was played a lot different. I personally feel that if Isaiah Thomas would have had the green light that Iverson and Steph had, we might have seen a different version, or even somebody put out Gary Payton. Even Gary Payton, if point guards would have played how point guards play today, we would have saw a different output.
And can I add a stat to the skill set? To me, a lot of this stuff goes back to you got to add toughness in there. Steph and them, AI was there. They was going at it. Zeke was there. These young guys, these new guys get hurt too much for me. I need to add toughness as a statistical category in there.
Mm-hmm. So he
Chuck going crazy. And
Chuck Curtis is asking about the guy that played with Shaq. What was his name? The guy that played Chris Jackson. But yeah.
Mahmoud Abdul. Mahmoud.
Raouf.
Raouf.
Yes, he was.
He was tough.
Yeah, and the pure talent. yeah.
So, all right. Well, you know what? So since you guys are here, I'm gonna play a little something. Hey, that's a great basketball discussion. But I'm gonna keep y'all here, and we're gonna have a discussion about this. Give me 1 second. Excuse me. All right. I'm gonna play it, and then we're gonna talk about it once I get there. I'm almost there, guys.
Pause.
I said pause.
I haven't made a record by myself that was even close to the hit that Cream was, so I will leave it right there.
Around me. Cream get the money, dollar bill, yo. Cream get the money, dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me.
And as far as the best verse ever to come out of that camp,
hold up, man.
That goes to Inspector Deck on Triumph.
I form atomically, Socrates' philosophies and hypotheses. Can't define how I be dropping these mockeries. Lyrically perform armed robbery.
As a collective, they make me great. MEGHOD.
Man.
All right. Y'all heard what the man said. He was a member of Wu-Tang Clan. All right. He said personally that he did as a solo artist, he didn't make a record as big as Cream. And Inspector Deck, out of all Wu-Tang verses, has the best verse when you talk about his verse on Triumph. Does anybody agree?
Well, hold on. Let me chime in first on the first part of what he said.
Okay.
First of all, yes, he's the album, the Cream album. He was right, but I'm gonna tell you this: that song wouldn't have popped if it wasn't Meth doing the hook. If it wasn't him doing the Cream part, the Cash Rules, everything. If it wasn't him, if it was another member in that crew, I don't think they could have delivered it the way Meth delivered it. So
let me ask you this, because I personally think that Method Man is wrong.
I think he's wrong too. I do think he has a single.
I think that all I need.
Yeah, I was good. That was the one I was going with.
I think all I need with featuring Mary J. Blige can compete with Cream.
The RZA mix.
Even the RZA mix, yeah, that's fine too.
So bringing that to the discussion, and when you asked me this morning, I don't even know how I missed that. He might be he might be wrong.
He might be wrong.
He might be wrong.
Now,
nah, he ain't wrong. That Cream was it wasn't you. I didn't think you could make a bigger record than Cream at that time.
You're all that I need. I'll be there for you. If you keep it real with me, I keep it real with you.
That's for the ladies.
I don't know. That's
okay.
I put it here. At least it's a good problem to have if you mess with me.
I guess, yeah. But so in regards to the best verse, now we talking, right? A lot of people when you hear the words Inspector Deck and best verse, you be like, whoa. But when you listen to that verse on Triumph, if I'm not mistaken, that is the first verse. That's the first thing you hear on Triumph. And it sets the song off. I'm not opposed to that. I think that Inspector Deck verse, the bar was raised too high for Inspector Deck with that verse because nothing else after that mattered.
So if I remember correctly, Triumph, it has no hook.
No.
It's just
nope.
Everybody getting to it on that song.
And he set it off.
Look, it's hard to debate a member of Wu on what they feel like is the best. I mean, because I'm sure they've had this debate and they have talked behind closed doors on who has the best verse on every album. For him to give Inspector Deck that type of like credit, man, shout out to him, man. Shout out to him.
Yeah. You see how Scott ignored hey Scott, he's good at his job, man. He's good at not answering the question at all. He didn't answer the question.
I'm going to defer. I want to defer to my Wu heads. Now I will tell you guys this: we had a debate a couple weeks ago, Wu-Tang versus The Rock. So I've been listening to a lot of Wu-Tang and a lot of artists from The Rock, just to validate some of the things that were said. I'm not going to get too heavy in that debate because I have a battle coming up, so I don't want to show too many of my cards. But there were some things that I had to go back and validate that Joe mentioned, you mentioned, some other people mentioned. So, more to come on that. Pause.
Wow!
I said pause.
You did. Yeah. All right. So, main focus, Phil. Do y'all have any thoughts on this?
I'm gonna take the easy way out. I'm gonna defer to the man in the group. I want to say ODB's got some, but if the man says that it's Inspector Deck, it's Inspector Deck.
Yeah, atomically.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna disagree because I don't think that's Deck's best verse. That's Deck's second best verse. So I'm gonna give y'all some off the record homework, if you will. When y'all get a chance, you put Triumph on. Everybody know the words of Triumph. Who said that? Chuck or Curtis? One of them said they know it word for word. Go find Wu-Tang's For Heaven's Sake.
Okay. So on be honest with you, Joe, I thought you were gonna make us listen to all Inspector Deck's catalog.
No. And this ain't even from his catalog.
that one was not gonna get submitted.
No, definitely not.
So thank you for giving us a little bit of the cheat code.
Yeah, but he didn't have a bad album. His album wasn't bad. It just wasn't mainstream enough.
Yeah, but it's not now.
No, that's right. But you find for heaven's sake and listen to his verse, the intro verse on that, and compare those words.
Look at what he said. He said Inspector Deck's best verse was on the Above the Clouds. Was on Above the Clouds by Gangstar.
Ooh.
Another good one, but
so before we get out of here, I'm gonna bring up one more debate or discussion that I had actually with Phil earlier, and it was about, and y'all just hear me out. He's asking me is Wu-Tang the best group of all time? And I thought about it and I said, hold on. So I thought about all these groups over time. I thought about the Gangstars. I thought about Eric B and Rakim. I thought about, some of these other groups, right? So it came down to 4 groups, right? I thought about A Tribe Called Quest.
Man, you ain't never trying to go home. Huh?
This
discussion.
Listen, hear me out.
Oh, no, it's about to get. Go ahead.
We got another hour. So I came down to four groups. It was a final 4. These are the 4 groups. It was Run DMC, Wu-Tang Clan, Outkast, and Amigos. Those were the 4 groups. That made it to my final 4. The other 2, the 2 groups that made it to my final were Wu-Tang and Outkast. And after thinking about it for a minute I went Outkast and Wu-Tang. So if I had to put them in order, it would have been Outkast, Wu-Tang, Migos, and Run DMC. That would have been the 4 that I had right there. Now, there's a lot of other great groups, out there. You got like I said, A Tribe Called Quest. You got EPMD.
So Curtis, the reason why Bone Thugs and Harmony does not make it on that list, their music didn't age well. I challenge you to go back and listen to some of their music, and it's a hard listen.
Yeah, and I will put NWA before I pick Bone Thugs and Harmony.
That's who I would probably. It's tough to take Ron DMC off. So yeah, you got to put NWA. Yeah, NWA.
Yeah, they 5. They 5.
Yeah, they 5. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
You also got to consider when you talk about these groups the impact on the culture they had when they were in their prime.
And that's where I got my 4, because if you think about it, those 4 are kind of different era. I think Wu-Tang and Outkast may probably be the same era. They kind of, Wu-Tang's first album is 93. Outkast's first album, if I'm not mistaken, 95. If I'm not mistaken, I'm just thinking of whatever.
Hey, but you got to add with that point, and that's why Migos is even in this conversation.
Correct.
Because anybody outside of our age going into this new generation, Migos was one of the most influential groups.
Absolutely. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there's people that would put the Migos at 1. But I just personally can't put the Migos over Wu-Tang or Outkast.
So this is why I can't put, and I've had this discussion before. My opinion often changes. When I think of Wu-Tang and why I put Wu-Tang over Outkast, those guys had no commercial radio play.
Cool.
Wu-Tang. Like mainstream radio play.
Scott, are you crazy?
Yeah, that's not true. I wanted it. Hey, Scott.
Hold on. He got the floor. Hold on.
I don't think that they had a lot of mainstream radio play, but the influence that they had in China, overseas. Wu was epidemic. Like as far as like, what they did with Wu Wear, like people were super fascinated with them without them being like heavily. Maybe they had radio play, but like heavily like promoted, like other groups were.
Right.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna disagree with that, Scott, because you got to think about at the time frame, New York was running rap, so it was easier for Wu to get. I won't say easier, but of course, New York rap was at the top of that during that time. So it was harder for Outkast coming from the South. That's why Dre got on stage and said what he said up there, right? The South got something to say. So it was tough.
He went to Utah. What? I know the Wizards are pissed. I'm sorry. Ace barely went to the Utah Jazz.
It's disrespectful from the host. Disrespectful from the host.
My fault. I apologize, but that's
it was harder, Scott, for Outkast to get their recognition and stuff until they jumped off and they jumped off the porch with that Southern Playalistic album. Now, Wu is my favorite group of all time. They number one. So, but they definitely didn't have it as tough as Outkast did.
Hey, Scott. So I disagree with they weren't on. Everyone wanted an MPV. We didn't realize it was a damn minivan. when they put that thing on the video, it's like, yo, what is that? I gotta get one. So I will give Wu this credit. Joe, you point out that New York kind of saturated the radio, but they didn't sound like other New York rappers, right? And that's why Outkast was special, because there was a specific sound that was out there. And when they came through being themselves, not trying to sound like anyone else, it popped. So those two, and that was the basis to Main Focus's point earlier when we had that discussion. Cultural impact was one of the main things in the group, not as a collective, because we also had the collective argument. Wu as a collective is the most impactful collective of all time, but as a single group, Outkast album collection is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you still got guys like Mobb Deep, Dipset. I mean, so I get it. It's an interesting. I want y'all. This is y'all homework, since Joe's talking about homework. Post it on in the chat. You post it on the Off the Record page. What is your top 4 hip hop groups of all time? I want to know. Matter of fact, let's make it even better. Let's your top 6. I know people normally say top 5 and top 10. Nope, we going top 6. All right. So give us your top 6 hip hop groups of all time, and we keep it pushing.
Yeah, and let me ask you this, Ant, before we get off this. Pause.
Whoa.
Is there any is any one of Outkast's albums
better than the first Wu-Tang?
Better than not? Is it? I ain't gonna even give you the whole Wu-Tang. Is it better than any? Is it better than the Purple Tape at all? Is any Outkast album better than the Purple Tape?
So Joe, that's a different argument, though. That's a different argument.
That's a good question.
That Ann and I kind of talked about.
It's two Outkast members. Purple Tape was Ray and Ghost.
No, we can't do that.
That's diabolical right there. That's diabolical.
Nah. Listen, the Purple Tape might be a top 5, maybe top 3 album of all time. I don't know. Oh man, yo. So,
hey Joe, I'm gonna disqualify. That wasn't a Wu album. They didn't have You God. They didn't have You God all over that track.
I'm gonna leave it alone.
Hey, listen.
Hey man, I got a battle coming up, man.
Let me tell y'all one more thing.
Scotty, I'm sorry. I see the remote on the table, brother. I'm sorry for what
Hey, no, not right now. I'll say this. Since we're in the hip hop bubble right now, it's 2025. 20 years ago, there was a lot less gray around on the screen. But y'all gotta think about what the music that we got in 2005, right? We got a Kanye album, we got a 50 album, we got a Jeezy album, we got Game, right? Then you think of some of the R&B. We got Chris Brown, we got Usher, we got Monica, Mariah Carey, among others. We was kind of spoiled in 05, yo. We was kind of spoiled, but
hey, Fate said CNN. You can't forget them boys either. Left, right.
Yeah.
Left, right. All right.
Trey Songz album came out in 05.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was woof. 05 is a lot of 20-year anniversaries this year. And I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. But I think we good. I think we done. We're here. I don't like that the NBA is having 2 days of the draft. I don't like that. They'll never be the NFL. But anyway, that's besides the point. But this is off the record. I'm sick of y'all. I'm sick of looking at y'all. I'm sick of everything y'all stand for. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. This is off the record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Or Scotty B and Curtis. Nah, I don't play Madden. I just watch it.
We out.
We off the record. Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.